Alright, hey guys. With my theoretical perspective paper planning, I'm going to be doing Carl's struggle for identity, which dives into uh, a teenage boy dealing with his own personal identity and his self-esteem, and dealing with an absent father, and his relationship with school and his peers in school. And I wanted to focus on conflict perspective and his social behavioral perspective on his story. So in the micro circle, it's Carl, the social worker, and his mom. And then on the micro, or no, yeah, the meso circle, it's Antonio's, which is a pizza place where he works, and his relationship with his pizza place. Him not having any body confidence. He's always repeatedly calling himself fat, fatso, saying that that's what people call him. It's fatso. He has a very negative attitude toward his doctor, and he just has a negative view towards people in general, and future relationships with them. And then also in this circle, in this sphere, I guess, is his relationship with high school and his peers there, and what he takes, like his classes in high school, his relationship with his teachers, how he views school in general. I also wanted to figure out, or maybe think about, his conflict with his dad and how that might affect him, and how that ties into conflict perspective. The doctor, a relationship with his doctor and his mom also could be tied into conflict perspective, which I want to cover in my paper. He definitely has a lot of resentment toward his dad because his dad abandoned him and his mom, and he thinks it's very unfair. And then on the outside circle, which is the macro circle, macrosphere, there were a lot of things that can be covered. So the overall idea of health and wellness, again, going back to his body confidence, people calling him fat, his possible relationship with his dad. So in the meso circle, I wanted to cover the conflict with his dad, but also in the macro aspect of it, discuss maybe having a relationship in the future with his dad and how he would feel about having that kind of future with his dad. And then just future plans in general. He didn't seem to have a lot of future plans other than day-to-day activities like going to work, going to school, smoking weed. So his high school hierarchy as well, he mentioned quite a bit that he wasn't the popular kid, he was the geek, he was the computer kid. And that ties into stereotypes in general, and how stereotypes can not only affect Carl in this situation, but how stereotypes can affect just other people, how stereotypes can affect a person's self-confidence and self-esteem. And then also tying into the fatso theme, is beauty standards, and how our culture kind of views beauty standards, and his standard that he thinks he needs to live up to, and how he thinks he's not hitting that standard. And then the transition from, adolescence, which is what he's at, to adulthood. So that's also tying into future plans, maybe future relationship with his dad, just that transition, and dealing with new new challenges that are coming his way. So the social behavioral perspective can be tied into many of the different aspects that I just discussed about in the macro sphere or circle. And then the timeline, I would say, would be, it didn't discuss very much in the story that was given, or the case the case study that was given, but I would say that childhood, his dad left, him and his mom. Middle school, he started smoking weed in middle school, and then they only made it up to this. The case study was focused more on him being in adolescence, so there isn't too much there with that. But there is a lot of things to discuss within the three different spheres, so hopefully I'll be able to discuss all that in my paper.